Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 6 of Mrs. Bale's Book List podcast. Today I'm reviewing When You Reach Me by Rebecca Stead. So first, before I go any further, I have to share just a hilarious moment that I had in this episode because this episode I need to face the issue of bad language being present in the book, and I haven't had to do that yet on the podcast. So I realized as I'm putting these podcasts together that if I do verbalize the specific bad language that's present in the book, I will have to mark the content as explicit, which I find hilarious because this is like a Christian perspective book review podcast. But I wanted viewers to know, or listeners to know, what is in the book. You know, some parents would have a problem with certain words being in the book and some wouldn't. And so I want to make sure that I put in my review, hey, this is what you need to know is in the book. So I want to give you a heads up. I am going to be saying the specific bad language that is found in a book so that the parent or teacher can make that discerning judgment on if they think that's appropriate for their case or not. So just a heads up, that's why this episode is marked explicit, but it's not really that explicit. But just so you know, if you have little ears listening, that is going to be in this episode. I'm excited to add this mind bender to the list. It's part contemporary fiction and part surprise science fiction. I wasn't sure what to expect from this one, but the back cover reeled me in, so I'm going to read that for you. I'm coming to save your friend's life, and my own. I ask 2 favors. First, you must write me a letter. When Miranda starts reviewing mysterious notes, she doesn't know what to do. The notes tell her that she must write a letter, a true story, and that she can't share her mission with anyone, not even her best friend, Sal. It would be easy to ignore the strange messages, except that whoever is leaving them has an uncanny ability to predict the future. If that's the case, then Miranda has an even bigger problem, because the notes tell her that someone is going to die, and she might be too late to stop it. Right? Some mysterious note giver is predicting the future and somehow saving a life. I really wanted to read this book. The book is a really nice combination of intriguing mystery intertwined with an insightful glimpse of everyday life in 1978 New York City through the lens of a 12-year-old girl with a poor single mom. So I guess it's not contemporary fiction necessarily. Maybe a blend of historical and contemporary. Rebecca Stead, the author, does a fantastic job of capturing both the brilliance and the flaws of a child's thinking at that age, which opens up so many opportunities for valuable pondering and discussion. And let's be honest, sometimes it's good for us adults to hear and ponder them as well. Some of these lessons include, if you choose to ignore a victim of bullying, you are probably adding to the hurt even if you aren't directly bullying. It's way more gratifying to be brave and confident and help them. It is not smart nor kind to judge someone before you understand who they really are. It's important to reciprocate love to your parents because they love you a lot. There's far more beauty in the people around us than in the things around us. I also loved how the parents involved in this story were all really positive characters. Not perfect characters, of course, but positive and loving. On the mystery side of things, I legitimately had no idea what was going to happen. Who was sending these letters? How could they predict the future? And there were plenty of times the children in the story had heated conversations about science, which left my head spinning, feeling my brain stretch a little. It was exciting and a very mentally stimulating read. For all of these reasons, I think this would make such a great book club option for middle schoolers. And finally, here are your appropriateness factors. I am giving you a spoiler alert here. So if you don't want to know what happens, don't keep going. All right, in terms of romance and sexual content, a few very brief kisses mentioned between 6th graders at the end. Miranda's mom has a boyfriend who's a very positive influence, and her mom has not given him a key to her apartment. despite him expressing wanting to marry her and move in because she's careful to make decisions that are best for her daughter. She does give him a key at the very end, and no more is specified, so I follow the happy assumption that she's finally agreeing to marry him. Language. There are a few instances each of "oh God" and "what the hell." Of note, there is a scene where Miranda is describing herself thinking through how the world began from an evolutionary perspective. Violence. A couple instances of boys beating on each other, one in which Miranda's best friend Sal gets punched for seemingly no reason as they're walking home from school. A car versus pedestrian accident occurs that's quite traumatic for the characters involved. I really recommend this fun book that will get your middle schooler's thinker going. I was surprised at the ending and had to flip through the earlier parts of the book to try to put the pieces together. It was a well-written mystery with lots of quality life lessons. Fans of A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle will most likely love this one, as it's Miranda's favorite book and is referenced and discussed often by the characters. Happy reading! Thank you so much for listening today. As always, you can find show notes and the web version of Mrs. Bale's book list at KristenEmilyBale.com. That's Kristen with an E and Bale with a B-E-H-L. May God bless your day.